In the first session of Java and Web named installation and first program, we have written a very simple program which prints something on the screen. Before we proceed in the session 2, I want you to become more habitual of writing some more easy Java programs. Hello everyone, I am Gyan and you are watching the first video of the second session of Java and Web, variables, data types and operators. In this video we will look upon the concepts of variables, data types and operators in a very layman style. Before we understand and run this code, let me go on the Ubuntu system and first create this file. Go to the Ubuntu system, press Ctrl Alt T. This opens terminal, maximize it, increase the font size, Ctrl Shift plus. And now let me go to the desktop, CD, desktop. We are all set to write the file. You can use the operating system and editor of your choice. And if you don't know how to use them, click on the playlist tab on my channel and watch the session 1 of Java and Web. Type vi first.java. Class. First word we have to write class. First. The name first is decided by the programmer. We can give it name as A, B, C, D, apple, ball, cat, anything. Then these two curly brackets. In between these two curly brackets, you have to write public, static, void, main. Then two small brackets. In between these two small brackets, write string. Be careful that write capital S in the string word. Then after give two square brackets opening and closing and write args. Below this line give two curly brackets opening closing again. I told you in the last session these two curly brackets are most important for you at least for next two sessions. So here we have to change something, we have to write something. Now let's go to the program and check what we have to write here. The names A, B and C are decided by programmers. All the 4 lines are statements ending with semicolons. Here instead of A we could write apple, instead of B we could write ball, instead of C we could write cat. Anything we can write. These names A, B, C are decided by us as a programmer. And the line ending with semicolons are statements. Let's understand these two red colored lines. A and B are containers which can contain whole numbers. These containers are called variables. Number 2 gets assigned to a variable A and number 3 gets assigned to variable B. 2 and 3 are called constants. We have two containers A and B of type int. Similar to the containers in the real life, these containers also have types. We have different types of containers in our real life. Similarly, in programming language, we have also different types of containers. The type is decided by int. Int means these containers are of integer type. They can store only whole numbers. They cannot store fractional numbers. We store 2 and 3 in containers A and B respectively. Since container can contain any value, it's not fixed what have to be contained by a container. So these containers are called variables. At this time, the A contains 2, it may contain 22 also. So it is a variable because whatever it is containing can vary. But meaning of 2 itself can never change. Means 2 will be 2. It's not going to be 3. So 2 and 3 are called constants. Here A and B are containers called variables and 2 and 3 are constants. Now look at this statement. Adds whatever contained by A and B and stores it to the variable C. Another container, or more accurately we can say another variable, is created named C with the type of int. It contains addition of whatever has been contained by A and B. And in this line plus is the operator and A and B are its operands. System.out.println statement. We encountered it in first session 2. This time it prints whatever contained by the container, the variable C. Let me complete this program. int a is equal to 2. The space between equal sign and 2 and the space between a and equal sign are optional. But the space between int and a is compulsory. Then after you write int b is equal to 3. Then type int c is equal to a plus b. Then after print system dot out dot println opening and closing small brackets semicolon, and in between these two small brackets type the variable you want to print. I want to print variable c, so I typed it. Save it and compile it. Java C first dot java. Compiles fine. Then pass the class name to the JVM first. Java first. It prints 5. So program executes fine. Now look at this program. In this red colored line, we just defined types of the variables. At this point, we have not assigned any value to these variables. And one more thing, further I am not going to call a variable as a container. Variable is more accurate word. We should not say it container. This line is called variable declaration. Now we are assigning something in the variables a and b. Equal to is called assignment operator. This is called variable initialization. When first time you assign a value to a variable, then this is called variable initialization. Since we are assigning 2 and 3 first time in the variables a and b, so this assignment is called variable initialization. Here both variable declaration and initialization occurs together. Here plus operator is called addition operator and equal operator is called assignment operator. Here we are adding a, b and c to store their sum in the d. This is variable initialization for the variable d because first time we are assigning something in the variable d. Prints whatever contained by d. Let's run this program. Int a, b, d. Here we are declaring these variables. We are not initializing it. And one more point, we are declaring it at the same line. If you are declaring more than one variables of same type in the same line, then you have to give comma between them. And the data type used only once. Then after you write a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, int c is equal to 4, d is equal to a plus b plus c. System dot out dot println and type the variable name here d. Let's run it. Java C first dot java. Compiles fine. Then type java class name. It runs fine. We already declared data type of a as an integer. If we redeclare the data type of a and type here integer again, then it will show an error. The compiler will show an error. The compiler Java C says variable a is already defined. Compiler says variable a is already defined. So we should not redeclare a variable in a program. Now again it runs fine. One more thing I want to discuss. There are two types of error may occur. One with the compiler. While compiling, when you pass your Java file to the compiler, then compiler may generate, Java C may generate an error. Then after when you pass the class name to the JVM, Java, the Java may generate, the JVM may generate a different type of error. So there are two levels of error here. Redeclaring a variable in the same program is the compile time error because compiler generates the error. Assigning a value to a variable for first time is called initialization. Then after we say it's just an assignment. If you do multiple assignments to a variable, then only last assignment is valid. We are assigning 2 in the A for the first time, so it is initialization. Assigning something for second time is not more initialization, it's an assignment. Here we are assigning something first time to the B, so it is initialization. This line is also an initialization because we are assigning something first time to the C. Then after we print A, it prints latest assigned value to the A, which is 3. And printing C, it prints 7. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. int A comma B, A is equal to 2, A is equal to 3, B is equal to 4, int C is equal to A plus B, system dot out dot println print A and system dot out dot println print C. We expect the output A as 3. Initially we assign 2 in the A, then we assign 3 in the A. We know that latest assignment only exists in the variable. The old assignments gets erased. Let's run it. Java C first.java. Java first. You can see the latest value of getting printed. It's printing 3, not 2. You can see the latest value 3 gets printed. What will happen if I try to use a variable without initializing it with a value? The compiler Java C generates error that variable might not have been assigned. Program will not compile at all and will not create the bytecode. In the left hand side code, we are using variable A without assigning it. We are adding it with 2 and then storing it in B. But A itself has not been assigned. So as in right hand side code, we are trying to print the variable A which has not been assigned. Compiler says variable might not have been assigned error. int A comma B, B is equal to A plus 2. Let's compile it and see what the error is getting generated by the compiler. Type Java C first.java. And compiler says variable A might not have been initialized. So this is same error we seen in the slide. Let me change this program to a little bit and type here system dot out dot println and A. Again we are using A without initializing it. Although we are just trying to print it, but we are using it anyhow. So compile it. Java C first.java. It says that at this statement variable A might not have been initialized. Not initializing a variable will not show any error if we are not using it. Although B is not initialized, but since we are not using it, it does not show any error. You can see here A is initialized but B is not initialized, and since we are not using B at all, the compiler does not show any error. Let me update our last program and add this line. A is equal to 2. Now try to run it. Clear the screen. Java C first dot Java. Compiles fine. Then type Java first. Class name. It prints 2. Means compiler does not generate any error this time. Even if we did not initialize the variable b, but we are not using it too. So if you are not initializing a variable and also not using it, then compiler does not generate any error. Compiler only generates the error for such an uninitialized variable which further used in the program. Since in the both programs here we used plus operators between integer variables and constants while printing with system.out.println. So their sum gets printed. Both programs results same, that is 5. Type int a is equal to 2, comma b is equal to 3. System dot out dot println a plus b. Here we are declaring and initializing two variables in the single line. If you are initializing two variables in the single line, then you need to type data types only once, and in between declared and initialized variables you have to just put a comma. After the line you must have to put the semicolon. This is how we declared and initialize more than one variables together if they are of same type. Then we printed a plus b here. Here a and b will get added to print 5. Java C first dot Java. Sorry, this is a typo. I must have to write print ln here. Now it's correct. Let's check. Java C first dot Java. It executes fine now. Java first. Everything okay. It prints 5. Instead of writing a plus b variables under the system.out.println parenthesis, we can also write directly 2 plus 3. This also works. Compile it. Java C first dot Java. Run it. Java first. And it prints. But if you use plus operator with something between double quote, the plus operator concatenates all of them. Here it prints sum of 2 and 3 is 5. Type int a is equal to 2, comma b is equal to 3. Int c is equal to a plus b. System dot out dot println. Now write string over here. 2 double quotes. Print sum. We know that whatever we write in between double quotes will get printed as it is. Sum of. Then after I want to print a variable. Type plus and then type a. It will become sum of 2. Then after again type plus, give this quote, give a space and write end, space quote, again plus, then type another variable you want to print, again plus, space age, type plus and give another variable name which is c. So ultimately it will print sum of 2 and 3 is 5. Let's run it. Java C first dot java first. It's all okay. It is printing sum of 2 and 3 is 5. Although in this video we seen only example of plus operator, but we can use other operators also. Like we can use minus operator. It will do 2 minus 3. Let me check what's happening here. Compiles fine and print sum of 2 and 3 is minus 1. Actually we didn't change the string here, that's why it's printing sum of, but subtraction occur. You seen it. After multiplication, type 8 button with shift. It will print star. Star means multiplication. So we are multiplying A and B. So now our output should come as sum of A and B is 6. Let me run it. And it says sum of 2 and 3 is 6. Then after, if I type division operator is the slash symbol below the question mark. It will print something you didn't expect it. Let me execute it. Compiles fine, Java first. It says sum of 2 and 3 is 0. But from your mathematics knowledge, you know that if I divide something 2 divided by 3, it should be 0.6666. It should not be 0. We will see more about these all operators in separate videos. This program is perfectly valid. We have not given any extra space or new line characters. Semicolon is the statement delimiter. Wherever is the semicolon, it shows end of statement. A space between int and a, b and c. You can see here space between int and a, int and b, int and c. These spaces are compulsory. Otherwise they will become new words like int a, int b, int c, etc. So these spaces between int and a, int and b are compulsory, but spaces between variable and equal and constant, anything else are not compulsory. Let's reduce all this program to a single line by erasing their extra spaces and new lines. So let's make this program in only one single line. I am erasing all these extra spaces. Erase it. One thing you should notice that we cannot erase the space between int and a. Otherwise it will become a different word rather than integer type of variable a. Erase it and see what's happening. It becomes int a word. I don't want this word to be here. I want it as int a. So don't erase this space. This space is compulsory. We can erase this one, as I already told in this video. We can erase this space too. Erase this one. Then after, take this line to above and erase extra spaces. This is how we are going to erase all the spaces. Erase this one too. Don't think that this is in two lines. Since the one line cannot get printed in the single row, that's why it took two rows to print the one line. It's one line only. Let me open it in gedit. Gedit first.java. You can see whole program is in one line only. In VI editor only it was printing in two rows because one line could not accommodate in one row. Now run this program, Java C, first.java. It compiles fine. Although we did not have given any line or space character, but it executes, it compiles, fine. Java first. One more thing I want to discuss here. The class name first is the name decided by the programmer. If you want different name, you can use different name here. Suppose that I want to use the name A. Then a class file will be created with the name of a.class. Let me compile it. Java C first dot Java. Java A. It executes fine. Since we are working on desktop, if you go on the desktop, you can see you have both classes, first dot class, a dot class. Since we changed the name of our first dot class to a dot class, so a dot class has been created on the desktop. We changed the name to a. That's how the a dot class has been created on the desktop. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.